Welcome to Qimen Dunjia. Hi, my name is Dougles Chan. I'm the Qimen teacher internationally. Today's case study, we're going to talk based or related to an opportunity to buy a new piece of land. And using Qimen Dunjia, we can do a divination to see whether this particular land is going to be good or not good. And should we actually go ahead in terms of buying the land itself? So in this case, what we can do is we need to understand the few concept. First is this, we need to know the answer, we need to know the asker, we need to know what is the reference point. So in order to do so, we will based on a step-by-step process where we have this hour stamp. This is called the hour box itself. This is pronounced as E. So E will take reference with this box itself. Number two, this is where we tell us about the answer. That means it gives us a general scenario of what is likely going to be happening in this case. And of course, another reference point is the day. This is the day stamp over here. We're talking about the subject itself. So the subject based on this question is actually over here, which is ourself. You. This is you. Ourself, the reference point is Bing. So we need to take reference with this Bing itself over here, which means that box number 3 is telling us about our current status, our current energy, or even the character of the person. So the next thing we need to do is we need to find where is the land. We're talking about the land. The land is over here. The death door over here, this death represents the land. And this box 6 itself is telling us the situation of the land itself. So after that, we also have to consider what is the land used for? Is it used for profit making? Do you want to sell the land later to make a profit or not? If you're making a profit, that is the intent, then we have to look at this particular reference point called the live door. So live door, we need to see what is the information over there. So these are all the standard things to take reference in this case. But before we analyze the chart, we also have to do a couple of things to kind of clean the chart first. Because every Qimen Dunjia chart, when we plot it, is actually considered a raw chart. So before we go deep into it, we must understand, is the chart got any problem? Is the chart got any situation in this case? So we need to clean the chart. So basing on this cleaning up the chart is that based on this year, 2020, this year is a Geng Zi year. So we need to kind of know Geng and Zi, which palace is higher energy. So in order to know the higher energy, we need to find where is the Geng, which is over here. Which means that in this case, box number 4, this emptiness is actually being filled because the energy is Geng. So next we have to find where is the Zi. Zi is over here. Basing on the Chinese calendar, Zi actually located in box number 1. So in this situation, 1 itself is going to be extra energy because it doesn't have an emptiness. So you flow back into box number 9, which tells us this box 9 itself is going to be extra energy too. So in this case, box 4, the energy of this emptiness is being filled. The extra energy in box 9 itself is going to be doubled. So in this case itself, we will take reference with it, and then from there, we'll see what happened. Next, we also have to clean the chart basing on the 6 punishment. 6 punishment is you. Let me write it down. 6 punishment is actually a situation whereby a specific palace, basing on a location of this stamp, then this particular palace is considered damaged. And if a damaged box or palace happens, then whatever that is inside that particular box will have some situation. So 6 punishment, we call it the 物己更新人鬼. We start from here. So 物己更新人鬼. So in this case, we notice that seeing there's a damaged box. In this Sixth punishment, Sing is activated in box number 9, which means that this entire box is actually damaged. So we need to highlight box number 9 is damaged. What we're going through is actually a very hands-on and very in-depth analysis of a normal Qimen chart. So compared to some of my videos previously, it's actually a very simplified version. So now I'm going to something more advanced, and then I will include different layers and different cleaning up even before the analysis of this particular chart. So we notice that this particular box number 9 is damaged with an increase in energy. You see, this is something whereby we need to understand. The energy increased, but the entire box is damaged. But whether we are able to take reference with it later on, we shall see. So after cleaning up the chart, basing on the yearly Tai Sui and the sixth punishment, we can start to do the analysis already. So in this case, box number 2 itself, we are looking to this answer. We have a serpent, obstruct, and fearless. All these particular symbols are telling us not a very good energy. So there are worries, there are obstruct, there will be hurdles, and there will be fearless also, meaning that things which not be so fantastic. In any Qimen Dunjia chart, if you see a fearless star, rightfully, you should not be going ahead with it rightfully. Of course, sometimes in certain decision making, we may not have certain choice, but given a choice, if you see a fearless star, please do not go into that particular decision in that aspect. So anyhow, let's continue to analyze. So where is the land? The land is over here. So this is the land. This is the answer. So the land is represented by this death. Death door is called land. I mean, don't be worried about this death because it's just a representation. It does not mean that the land is dead. But we need to understand that there are a couple of implications within the box number 6 itself. So the land is a reference point. We have a partner, we have a destroyer, we have a thing, and we have a queen. So all these symbols tells us something about the land itself. That means it's telling us the surrounding, the energy of that particular land. Okay, so in this case itself, this partner stands for multiple. This destroyer stands for internally, there are some things going on, something which is creating a problem. So Ting represent fire, Kui represent dirty water. But Kui also represents something else, which is stand for natural force, which also stand for ghost. So in this case, a land with a ghost, with a fire, and with a destroyer, which is not a very good style to begin with. Partner is multiple, a lot of people, a lot of things. So I may suspect that something wrong with this particular land, which probably there could be a cemetery previously. So in this case, for this particular land, we need to kind of do some background checking to see whether this particular land previously got any cemetery, or tombstone, or this thing itself. So because all this will create a lot of yin energy, a very negative energy, and if humans are live inside there, it's not going to be very good in this aspect. So that one, we have to kind of take care of it. We have to notify it. So in the event of this profit itself, profit is going to go into 9 heaven. 9 heaven and impulse. 9 heaven stand for high. Geng stand for enemy, competitor. Sing stand for mistakes. Chong, that means impulse, stand for wash away. So in this case, we are looking at a situation whereby if you were to buy this land, you're going to have a lot of profit. With competition, with a horse over there, this is small little horse, stand for not being stable, not very stable. And at the same time, this profit is going to be washed away. So it will be a situation like this. When you buy the land, your profit is going to go high. After that, due to competition, eventually it's going to be washed away due to some other reason. And there's a horse over there, which means that this whole profit itself technically is not very, very stable. You see, it's all about future. We are predicting the future. So it's kind of telling us what likely going to happen. And always understand that Qimen is not 100% tool. It's about 70 to 80% or even 90% depending on how skillful the person is. And the more you are skillful in this area of predicting the future, you are able to grab the future under your hand itself. It's very, very interesting. So having said that, we must also understand where are you? That means the person who is asking the question. Over here, box trade itself, this is where are you? And 4 itself and 3 itself, 4 is the profitability, 3 is the yourself. So in terms of element to element, the wood and wood is actually in harmony. So technically, you and the profit is in harmony. Take note, the profit eventually will be washed away with competition and with this mistake. So it may not be very fantastic. It looks good, but technically, if you look at it, it does not look good. Okay, so in terms of the representation of the stem plus stem, we have a geng and a xing, and then we have this is what we call the 10 stem combination. 10 stem combination, geng plus xing, is actually not very good. It's not suitable. That means basically it's a negative energy. That means the micro environment itself is not telling us something. It's telling us something that is not very favorable in this aspect. So micro environment, no good. Box number 4 in terms of trigram itself under Xun Gong is Xun Palace. This is something we're talking about. This particular profit is directionless. Something which is directionless, we also tend not to go into it. And at the same time, there's something very important. The land itself is over here. We stand for Metal Palace. Over here, 6 Metal Palace. This is metal because there's a gray color over here. And the profit itself is going to be wood. So the profit actually clashes with this land itself clashes with the profit. And because it's metal, clash with the wood. And at the same time, if you notice the profit, this land itself also clashes with the asker, which is yourself, which is stand for wood also. So both sides, that means the land clashes with the profit, the land clashes with the asker itself. So technically, it is not a very good situation in this aspect. So as a whole, the overall situation is that when we look at a divination chart, we must look at different layers. And then after that, we do a very holistic approach to see whether this answer is going to be a yes or no. Sometimes we may come to a situation whereby it's like a 50-50 situation. But in this case, if you are looking at the situation of a profitability of this land, that is when to buy and sell later on, this land, we should not be buying it because the profit will be washed away, and suspect that this land itself, there are some history behind the scene whereby we need to double check whether is there any symmetry previously, because it will be a very yin energy, a very negative energy if anybody were to build a house within it. You see, so that is all for this particular chart related to Qimen Dunjia. Thank you very much for watching, and do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.